Hello everybody, and welcome back to Fridays with Dannphan. Yes, the only way that you realize that it's Friday is when you see the notifications for this particular stream. Done at the very odd time of 4:30, just that sweet spot, trying to get as many people who are just getting off of work as possible. How is everybody doing this wonderful Friday? Looks like we got a few of the usuals in chat. Let me try to find how I do the song, because I finally figured out how to do songs in the background. See this? Is that... Okay, there we go. Yes, nice and smooth. Just the way we like it. Alright, so, how's everybody doing? Yeah, I bought this weird looking tablet thing and you won't believe what happened to it. Oh yeah. I am actually shopping for another tablet. I've got like 2 tabs open for possible tablets I can buy. I don't want to buy one of those super big tablets. Everyone, they're always like suggesting that I splurge and get like a table tablet. That's not really what I'm looking for. I like portability. I like it to be portable, as I do like the option, even though it doesn't happen very often, I like the option to take my work with me wherever I go. It's part of the reason why I don't use my my desktop computer to do art or anything. It's just because I like to be able to take it around everywhere. So I prefer like the 13-inch tablets, the ones that are just kind of about the same size as my laptop. But the 2 that I was looking at was... I guess I could share my screen so you could check out what I'm checking out. A Huion? Yes. I heard a couple people recommending this before, and not bad, considering... I'm granted, it's on sale, but it's about the same price as what I got for the Wacom One, or what Adam got for the Wacom One, and it has buttons on the side, which is an improvement, actually. Only thing about it is that it doesn't come with a stand to like prop it up, but you know, there's a foldable stand that you can just add to the order for an extra $40. So that probably comes out to about the same amount of money as the Wacom One, actually. But I think this stand is actually way better than the prop up that the Wacom One has. So probably better value overall. And then there was... Oh, it doesn't let me... Okay, I gotta just do it this way then. Then there was the X Pen. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of the X Pen before. I saw this floating around too. I keep on like double checking to make sure that I hear this right, because it seems like they're offering quite a lot for this relatively cheap amount of money. They're like, oh yeah, you get this, right? You get the buttons on the side, which I like. It's one of the first complaints I had when I got the Wacom One, is I was like, man, they don't have any buttons on the side. I just have to like lean over and use the keyboard. Lame. But yeah, it also comes with like a screen protector, and what else did they say? Yeah, it comes with all this. It comes with the stand and the gloves and shit. Not bad, not bad. Comes with the stand, and it's less money than the Huion. It's not bad, but that also is like relatively sus. Because like, oh boy, is this gonna break immediately as soon as I start using it? I don't know. Who knows for sure? But yeah, I'll get a few opinions on what's the right direction to go. Everybody naturally. I wasn't expecting the Wacom video to blow up the way that it did. I didn't want it to really blow up the way that it did. It was more so me venting than anything else. Yet YouTube algorithm, being how YouTube is, decided, you know what, here's 20k views. So it's just like 20,000 people looking at me being an idiot. They're just me describing for like 20 minutes how I handled getting a faulty Wacom product extremely poorly. But it is what it is, right? And then you get all the comments that are like, you should have returned it immediately. It's like, I know that now. I only had a few days to decide whether or not I was gonna return it. Because, yeah, it came in late, but, you know, it was stressful. I was going through a stressful time. You don't make good decisions when you're stressed out. Thanks for the 20, Mark Schaefer. Okay, what is that playing in the background? Either way, Friday with Dannphan, let's go. That's music. You don't like the music? I thought it was a nice touch to the streams. Makes it feel nice and peaceful. I can change the song if you don't like the song. Right now I'm playing By the Fireplace. Ooh, so cool. But there's also like acoustic cinematic, dance pop, daydreaming, feeding the ducks into space, lo-fi, night driving, and rock. Whichever you want, guys. You have the wheel. Dannphan flips out algorithm. Yeah. It is sadly way easier to get views on YouTube when you're complaining about something. And then whenever I want to like talk about something that I'm actually like praising or excited about, not so well on the YouTube algo. And then people will say that I'm too negative. It's not my fault. You only see the negative videos, because that's how the algorithm works. Feeding ducks into space. Yeah, that's what the song is called. No, it's two different songs. Play some death metal? Death metal's not an option. It feels kind of Christmassy, I guess. I guess being by the fireplace feels generally kind of Christmassy. I've been called too negative for my entire life. A lot of the time there's good reasons to be negative. Well, yeah, I'm not defending being negative all the time or anything, but, you know, sometimes it helps to vent out a little bit of negativity so that you can go through life being a little bit more positive. And then other times, people just get obsessed over being negative. But it really just depends from person to person, I suppose. I don't like being negative all the time, but that's the only part of me that a lot of people see on YouTube, because they're only looking at the negative videos. Then we get these Friday Dannphan streams where everything's a little bit more chill, and this is how I am most of the time. Most of the time I'm just like a normal chill person. But when you only are watching the negative ranty videos of me online, I seem like somebody completely different. Naturally. But you know. Your recent Freeman video about Stark was interesting and entertaining. Great anime. Yes, you know, it's probably my top anime. It probably is. I really liked doing that video. I've considered doing essay-style videos like that. It's a little bit weird, though, because like the audio is a little bit... not completely fucky-wucky, but a little bit fucky-wucky, you know? Just something about like editing with headphones on, and then when you take the headphones out and listen to it regular. It sounds completely different as far as balance goes. But other than that, yeah, I'm overall pretty satisfied with the Freeman video I made. I'm not exactly the type of person people expect to hear, like, essay-style character explained type videos, but I'm fairly knowledgeable about the subject, being that I am a writer myself, and these are things that I pick up on and study to figure out how exactly I can write well-done characters. I'll turn the music down a little bit because people are complaining. There are other songs, but I don't know if you'd like the other songs that much better. Music's creeping me out. No, it's fine. It's cozy. It's fireplace music. It's great. Honestly, I do feel like you overfocus on your negativity, though. I don't find you overly negative at all. Healthy skepticism, more like. Yeah, well, it's worth being a little bit skeptical. I've mentioned it before, but when it comes to entertainment, there's very few things that are new coming out that I like. And that's just me being honest. It's not so much me being negative. I genuinely have difficulty finding something new that I enjoy. So whenever something new comes out, or whenever a reboot comes out, I'm kind of just expecting it to be bad. And sometimes I can find a little bit of humor or entertainment in the idea that something is going to be so bad, but it makes it all the more special when something comes out and I really enjoy it. So that is certainly one way to look at it. I'm thinking I'm going to turn these lights on because it's getting kind of dark over here. Right in my eye. Alright, what do you think? It's weird how, like, it creates some sort of, like, effect. Like I put some effect over the video or something. It's so dark in this corner, and it's so difficult to get the lighting just right. Can't wait until I'm recording at a different spot in a different house one day in the future. But yeah, for now, this'll work. So long as you can see me. That's the main thing that matters, of course. Let's see, have you ever drawn for animations? Do you mean like for work? Like, have I ever been commissioned for animation? No. I've been commissioned for storyboards before, but not like tweening or anything. I guess if you consider storyboards kinda like animation, maybe it's somewhat adjacent. But, you know. Is that Frank Frazetta in the background? Yeah, right? Isn't that like the best art piece ever? I absolutely love it. It's a good blend of that sci-fi fantasy. What was it called? Like the Princess from Mars or something? I've never read the book, so if you try to quiz me on that, I'm gonna fail. But I do love the art piece. It's gorgeous. We went to the Frank Frazetta Museum, actually, and got it, like, straight from his children, or grandchildren? They run this museum. And, I'd recommend going there if you're a Frank Frazetta fan. They got a lot of stuff. A lot of good stuff. A lot of genuine art pieces of his. Just hanging about. Stream feels dark. Doesn't it always? Aren't we just all in a dark lighting in our hearts or something? Is the reason you stopped making negative review videos because you've been called a grift tuber? I don't know if I have ever been called a grift tuber. Maybe back when I was making, like, news videos. I used to make, like, kinda reading the articles, you know, Clownfish TV style videos. And then eventually I tried to transition to more review-based stuff. And now I kind of only cover the news stuff every now and then when it's something that I'm generally interested in. But, you know, it was difficult being one of those article reading YouTubers. Not just because, I mean, like, in general it's easy, right? Because all you have to do is read an article and then give your opinion on it. But it was difficult because there were so many articles coming out for things that other people were interested in, and I was not really interested in. But I would still go over it just because other people wanted to hear my opinion on it. And then you kind of get like a, what's his name, Moist Critical types of videos where he doesn't really know a lot about the topic, but he's just covering the topic because he knows it'll get him a bunch of views. But yeah, I felt like I would enjoy videos a lot more if it was something I was genuinely interested in or passionate about and could give a more informed opinion about. And generally, you know, it's not the type of content that I wanted to make my main content. So even though I definitely lost a lot of views and a lot of audience retention over stopping doing those types of videos, at least I got to keep my mental health. Maybe that makes me a not grift tuber? I don't know. I don't know what the general slider is for whether or not somebody is a grift tuber. But yeah. Article reading gets boring. Love the review videos of comics. Yeah, it's difficult to get views on those, but I have a little bit more fun making them, at least. Even like the manga review stuff, I have a little bit more fun making those videos. Like, talking about the writing and going into depth about why something is good or why something is bad. But I don't know. I guess part of the thing is once I gained a lot of subscribers for the news reading videos, YouTube would only recommend my videos to those types of subscribers who are coming for that type of content, even though I'm not making that type of content. So a lot of my new direction that I went with this channel, they're not getting recommended to the right people most of the time. So it's difficult to change what you do on a YouTube channel. Once you get popular for one specific thing, you kind of get locked into doing that, even though you don't really want to do that most of the time. But I understand why a lot of channels that become popular over doing those article reading videos, I understand why they stick to doing those videos for the rest of all lifetime. Because even though they might not be interested in reading articles for the rest of their lives, they still need those views to support what they are interested in. Like, another example, I guess, Clownfish TV. They do all those article reading videos, and they're more informed about it than I am. They do a much better job with it, of course. But the reason why they do so many of them, so many of them, because it's fueling a lot of views, and then they can use those views to promote the stuff that they're more interested in, like their own personal projects, such as their comics. And that sounds nice. As someone who is also a comic writer and artist, I'd like to fuel some views to promote my comic stuff. But I don't know. I really gotta figure out what exactly to do with this channel. I like to keep on making more anime and manga videos to see if I could maybe fish for some new viewers who would actually enjoy watching those types of videos consistently, instead of only coming here for whenever I'm reading a news article. But right now it doesn't really look like it's very likely. At some point, I might just kind of end up retiring YouTube, or retiring it in the sense that I'm gonna stop trying to make videos for view count and start just trying to make videos that I enjoy making, which I know sounds like a very duh thing to do, but it's more difficult than you think, because you're gonna lose views 100% of the time. Like, once you stop thinking about what the audience wants to watch and what you want to watch or what you want to do, you are definitely going to start losing views, which is unfortunate. But that's just kind of how YouTube works. Which is all the more reason why you should start a YouTube channel doing what you love first. So you don't get locked into doing something that you're not really into, you know? Once again, very duh advice, but I'm a very stupid person, so yeah, you love the shirt, huh? I love it too, naturally. Unfortunately, it's starting to fade already. This is only like a year old or something. Shouldn't be fading that quickly. But, yeah, it happens. I don't know what conventions I'm going to this year yet. I'm planning on going to conventions this year, but who knows which ones. And me and Adam were talking about doing a Freerin and Himmel cosplay. Finally, I get to play, or I get to be a demon slayer. It's gonna be good stuff, I don't know if you guys have any suggestions for good conventions, but something to throw at me. There's a convention that we were thinking about going on a road trip to that's kind of far off, but we thought maybe it'd be fun because we've heard good things about it. But still gotta figure stuff out for that. Other than that, we're usually just going to places that are close by. So yeah. Let's read some more comments, shall we? How about making a video about one of your favorite video games? Well, we do have a gaming channel, so if I was gonna do that, it would be on the video game channel, not on here. But you know. You have to, whether you're a YouTuber who makes comics or a comic creator who makes YouTube videos, you have to decide whether you're a YouTuber. Yeah, I don't want to be a YouTuber, don't get me wrong. That's one of the things that people just kind of assume that I wanted to be because I made videos so often, but no, I'm not into really doing the whole YouTuber thing. I do want to do comics more than anything else. The YouTube game is just kind of a way of getting an audience for the comics, because right now I don't have the biggest audience for my comics, but I want a big audience. I think that would be absolutely swell. My boyfriend is a YouTuber for fun, and he talked about that. He basically said, yeah, I can make a ton of videos about Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I don't have anything more to say about it. Yeah, that's fair. I considered at one point becoming a Freerin channel, but judging by my last video, I don't think that's gonna happen. I'll still make more videos about Freerin because I do like it and I do have a lot to say about it. Stuff to say that wouldn't even fit in a review video, you know what I mean? Like, I do the review videos for a lot of these manga and anime, but I can't actually fit everything I want to say into a small, digestible video all the time. So sometimes it is helpful to make multiple videos about a thing. And then sometimes you're just kind of forcing it because you know that it'll get views. So even though I did a Freerin review, it's not because I was trying to capitalize on the Freerin review that I also did a Stark video. It's because I wanted to do a Stark video, because I like Stark as a character. I wanted to do a whole video about him, and just kind of discussing why I like him as a character, why I think he deserves more, why I get so frustrated when Yamada sidelines him and treats him like he's not a likable character, you know? Because I care about it. Imagine that, making videos about stuff that you care about. It's crazy. It's so crazy. How do you tap into the manga market? Fuck if I know. I wish I could tell you. If you find out, tell me. You know, something else that I saw recently? I saw, you know how, like, Western mangaka, or, Western people who want to get into mangaka, being mangaka, I mean, they will start up, like, their own publishers, or their own Kickstarters, or whatever, trying to promote this idea of, oh, we're gonna make a manga magazine. We have all these different creators from around the world, you know, go check out our thing. Recently there was a Kickstarter for one of those that I found quite chin-scratching. It was like, the reason why I found out about it is because someone I subscribed to from Manga Plus, because I was interested in seeing more of their stuff, they posted about it, and I assume that they're also being featured in that manga magazine that is Western published. Anyway, thanks for the $2, Love to Draw. Did you do away with the Be My Escape graph? Yeah. It's like crushed under a bunch of stuff. Adam didn't want me to keep it up, so looks like it's done away with, as you said. Let me see if I can do a share. Oh yeah, Manga Punk. What do you think? Western Seinen Manga Magazine. Although it's not actually Western, exactly, because it's creators from all around the world that they just, like, I assume maybe met on Manga Plus or reached out to across Twitter or however they found these people, right? So, kind of confusing marketing right away, but this is the book. Not the cover that I would choose. But it's a choice. How much is this for, like, the physical? 25. And how many pages? 25 isn't that bad for, like, a super thick boy book, right? Yeah, look how thick that is. That's a great price. All that being said, the thing that I thought was very crazy about this is that they're doing it through BookBaby. And there's a lot of videos and like articles online about like BookBaby and whether or not it's a scam and stuff like that, right? But me and Adam met like people at fairs who've used BookBaby before. And it does seem genuinely like a service that is very predatory to people who are very new to writing and kind of naive about the printing process and everything. Because they're completely overinflating what value they're actually giving, you know? I mean, like, I think one of their packages on their website is literally just like 25 printed copies for $1,000 or something like that. It's like, what? How? That's just such a crazy bad deal. And they're like, oh, but you also get like an ISBN and a barcode. And it's like, but I could just buy that from Baokey. Well, I don't need you for that. And then they brag about their distribution, but all of their distribution is digital. It's not like they're putting you in stores, you know? You know what I mean? So it seems like they're very much overinflating what their services are actually worth. I I don't know, man. I generally see it as a red flag whenever I see some independent person who wants to publish their own comic or magazine or whatever they want to do, and they're using Book Baby. It's very eyebrow raising, you know? It's like, I don't think you're going about it the right way. Are they expensive? Yeah. Like I said, they're a borderline scam, so there's a reason why comic creators are going straight to the printers to work out a deal with them and not to some middleman Book Baby to work out a deal. But you know. Calling comics manga never sat well with me. Manga is just Japanese comic. One Piece is a comic book. I don't like the weird mixing of languages. Either speak one or the other, not both. Yeah, I mentioned it before, but the word manga to distinguish from a comic book and then a comic book made over at Japan, it started as a very uniquely like English thing to do, just so that we had the distinction on whether or not something came from out of states, you know? But now that we have the distinction, and now that people have kind of just decided that manga is better than comic books, people want to make manga, or they want to just like call it manga because that's the only way people would be interested in it in some cases. To some extent I understand, like from both arguments, where it's like one side you're purposefully like trying to mislead customers because you're calling it manga knowing that people might mistake it for coming from Japan, and then the other side is saying, well, we are inspired by the manga format, we want to create something in that same format, so we're calling it manga so that people understand what kind of comic it is. I kind of get it, definitely. I'm not trying to knock either side there. Reaper, obviously, is my comic coming up March 1st for an Indiegogo campaign. Ooh, I gotta really nail down working on that Indiegogo page. Whew, still some work to be done, but I'm not gonna get anxious over it right now. Not right now, this is a chill stream. But yeah, Reaper is gonna kind of be done in that format. I'm not gonna do the right to left reading though. I don't get that. Unless you're publishing in Japan, it doesn't make any sense to publish your comic or your manga right to left reading. If anything, you're just gonna confuse everybody. It's just like, wait, this is a Western manga? Then why is it still read backwards? And like when manga was first being published overseas, they actually reversed it so that it would be more understandable. I mean, they stopped doing that, obviously, because they were like, oh, well, we should try to make it more authentic to what the original version was, you know? Especially because sometimes character designs are not perfectly symmetrical, so it gets a little bit confusing. But yeah, they originally used to just like flip the page, like reverse. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess flip is fine. You probably understand what I mean, but yeah, they would yes, mirror. They would mirror it so that it would still be read left to right, so that people wouldn't have to learn how to read a different way to read manga. But then they were like, you know what, we should try to be more authentic to the original, and let's just print it how the original printed it. And that's fine. I don't care. I picked up on it fairly quickly. I didn't get super confused reading it backwards. But I don't see any need to print it backwards when you're publishing in America or in an English-speaking country. You know? It's not like you're... If you were trying to get published in Japan, it would make sense. If you're not trying to get published in Japan, it makes no sense. No reason to do that. But, yeah. Let's see. I literally work as a translator, and I constantly need to deal with multilingual people. It drives me up a wall when customers speak 3 different languages in a single sentence. It's pretty funny. I get it. I get it to some extent. I don't know any second language fluently, but it's funny because I know a bunch of different words in other languages and could probably say a few phrases in other languages even if I couldn't speak the entire language perfectly fluent. So I could see myself stringing together 3 different languages if I had to. I think one of the most easiest languages to learn if you were going to take a second language, everyone says it's Spanish. Everyone says it's Spanish. I don't think so. I don't think Spanish is the easiest second language to learn if you speak English. I think the actual easiest second language to learn is Deutsch, German. Call me crazy, but I do actually find German to be extraordinarily easy because a lot of the words in English are exactly the same in German, just with a German accent. But yeah. And French is not easy at all. I don't know who said French was easy. Like, they're lying to you. French is one of the hardest for me. I cannot pronounce French words at all. If I were to pull up a DNA test, I'm sure it's probably 0% French. Just nothing in my bloodline, no ancestral memory can help me with pronouncing French words. But yeah. Yeah, German's nice. I second that. I went to Germany recently, and without knowing a word of German, I could understand full sentences. Yeah, you know, I kind of find myself in the same boat where, like, you can kind of understand, just by recognizing a few of the same words in English. You can kind of understand what people are trying to say. I have that same experience when I follow people who are German online, and they're posting in German, but I can still kind of understand what they're saying without having to translate it. All Germans are taught English in the school. It's an easy second language for them. It's easy for us, so it makes sense it would be easy in the reverse. But yeah, English is supposed to be like the international language. It's the same thing for like a lot of schools. They like want you to learn English as a second language. Not that everybody knows English, obviously not, but it's most common for somebody to also know English. English is hard, like really too many nuances. Well, it's much harder in modern day when people keep on trying to change the definition of words. But that's like, that's a whole other road to go down. So we won't get into that. Let's see, what else is going on? The Way Long Back? I have to mention it every stream, naturally. The Way Long Back is coming up soon. It's February 2nd, and this lovely romance comic is going to drop February 14th, Valentine's Day, folks. Valentine's Day, let's go! Issue 1 and 2, coming to Burning Star Comics. We're just going over some edits. Editing has been quite a lot of work, as you can imagine, and I'm worried that because I've read the issues so many times that I'll stop picking up on mistakes. Like, my mind will just auto-correct everything. So I'm having Adam read through them to kind of be like an extra filter for me to see if he can pick up on anything else I missed. But yeah, then once I'm like 100% sure, we'll launch both issue 1 and 2 on the website, and that should be fun. You'll get to read a cute little 90s style romance. Bit of a throwback, huh? And then when March 1st comes around, I guess like right after the first week of promoting The Way Long Back, I'm gonna have to like kind of switch gears and start promoting more Reaper, because I'm trying my best to finish up that comic and have that campaign ready to go. Honestly, there's a good bit of pages left to be done on Reaper, and I think I'm gonna be a little bit late. Not super late, but I was hoping, originally, I was hoping that I would be done inking all the pages for book 1 before we launched the actual campaign for book 1. I don't think that's gonna happen. I have, like, not that many pages left to go. Just like 40. Which feels like a lot, I will say. But, you know, I also wanted to do some extra pages, and I was thinking about what we could do for the chapter breaks, and there's some nice art pieces that I'd like to do for that as well. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. So a little bit probably later than I was expecting to finish up Reaper, but it'll still get done and it'll still hopefully go off without a hitch. I usually get like a digital proof from these printing companies whenever I print comics, but this time I want to get a physical proof to make sure that it looks okay. Just be extra sure. I'm a little bit worried about the halftones, honestly, because of how, like, kind of finicky they can be. So, you know, it might take a little bit longer, but it'll be worth it all in the end. And, dear God, it's the longest comic I think I've ever done. If you don't count the webcomics. Webcomics don't really count, though. Who's counting webcomics? Am I right, guys? But, yeah. Yeah, Reaper's going to be the longest 100-page graphic novel, and that's not including the extra pages that I'm going to throw in at the end. Ugh. I'm going to nerd out a little bit, and I'm going to tell you all about the lore. Tell you all about my fucking lore, man. Alright, sorry, I'll go over the super chats. Prow's channel. Asked this before, but any thoughts on the Sonic X Shadow Generations plus Sonic 3? Right. They're adding Shadow to Sonic Generations. And that should be interesting, huh? Honestly, I'll do a little guilty confession here. I have Sonic Generations. I haven't played it. It's just been sitting on my computer for the longest time. I want to play it. I'm honestly still trying to get through Sonic Adventure 2. I would have finished Sonic Adventure 2 a long time ago, but there's a bit of an audio problem, as you can imagine, so it becomes a little bit frustrating to play it. Maybe there's a mod that can help fix that. I don't know. But yeah, it's a very common audio problem with the Steam game and everything else. I have difficulty finding time to play games, especially games where you have to sink a lot of hours into. Because, you know, a lot of my hours throughout the day, I'm basically just drawing comics or making a video or going to work. It gets difficult to find time in the day to stop, relax, and play a game. But yeah, it looks super cool, and the art looks fantastic. They really cleaned it up. For people who speak English, German is more easy to learn. Brazilians, for example, Spanish, reasons where the languages come from in ancient times. Fair enough, fair enough. It's true, a lot of people forget that that English is a Germanic language, like the roots came from there. Everyone talks about how, like, a lot of words came from Latin, but, you know, Latin also came from that general area. It's all kind of linked together and just kind of branched off in different directions. It's interesting, though. Has anything changed in your story, or have you went a different direction when writing? Well, with Reaper in particular, I've definitely changed some page layouts. I've changed some dialogue and some sections as I've been inking everything up. But the overall outline has not changed because, you know, it's kind of the whole hook for the series. And I'm trying to sell people on this as a series and not just as a book. So I hope that people are as excited about the outline to this story as I am and would like to see it continue. Guess we'll find out, huh? I hope so. It's difficult to get people to buy, of course, because economy not doing so well. And not a lot of people are willing to give new things a chance when economy not doing so well. They want to stick with their safe things that they know are good, and they're not going to be disappointed when they buy the book for, you know? Why did you pick cosplaying Himmel Freeman over Fern Stark? I personally think you'd look better as those two. I don't know, man. I mean, Freeman is, like, obviously top tier character. She's very distinct as a character. Fern is... I don't hate Fern, right? But she is pretty bland. There's not, like, a whole lot going there. All the more reason why people can project themselves onto her is because she's a little bit of a blank slate. And Stark, you know, Adam kind of suggested the same thing as you. He was like, oh, why don't we cosplay as Fern and Stark instead? And I thought he might not be as comfortable in the Stark outfit. But just design-wise, I thought, like, Himmel fit him better. But I don't know. Maybe we'll change our minds last moment. I also think Freeman is probably more distinguishable, maybe. Like, at a convention, like, people would immediately recognize the character, while as Fern, it's a little bit like, could be Fern, could also be this character from a mobile game, I don't know, type thing, you know? I like Fern, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downplay Fern. I just don't know if she's as iconic as Freeman, of course. Chest High Walls, $2. I can name some other games you haven't played. Yeah, because you bought most of them. You bought all the games that I haven't played. Ever interacted with Razor Fist? He's also super passionate about fighting back against the woke comic establishment. You know, I've seen some of Razor Fist's videos popping up on the homepage and stuff like that, and I've watched some of them. you know, classic YouTube algorithm, always like suggesting the ranty videos, right? But I click on them, so it's partially my fault. But no, I've never interacted with him. I think a lot of these people online who also cover comics and also SJW stuff and politics and how it influences the media that we take in, I think a lot of these channels know that I exist, but also know that I'm not very popular. It's like everyone's seen at least one video of mine, but that doesn't make me a super popular YouTuber, you know what I mean? And it's like, don't let the 68,000 subscribers fool you. Hardly any of those people are watching. It's more so like you're subscribing because you agree with the opinion and you want to show some form of support. But it's not actually because you're super interested in the content that they're making. Which is fair. I mean, like, not knocking them, of course. It's just kind of how that stuff goes. That's how YouTube is, you know? But yeah, it's kind of the same story with a lot of the other YouTubers out there, where it's like, they know I exist, but they also know that they're probably not going to gain anything by collaborating with me or anything because I'm not super popular. And that's fine. That's alright. Like I said, I'm not super interested in being a full-time YouTuber. I'm interested in being a full-time comic creator. I want to make stories and draw pretty art and sell stuff, you know? Not that I would be like 100% against also making videos. Obviously, I still make videos, even though I know full well that they're not gonna explode in viewership, and that this is not what I want to do for a full-time job, but it's still fun to make videos as a hobby, and it's still nice to be able to like talk about things that I'm interested in with people who are also interested in those things, genuinely. It's also kind of nice to give people advice based on like things I've learned about making comics over the years and stuff like that. Like, for example, not using BookBaby. But yeah, you know how it is. I learned about you from Teching 101, but since then I started watching you over him. Oh man, yeah, Teching 101 and I, it happened so long ago, some people forget that it even happened, but we did a stream together, and then we also did a video together, and the video was done when I was kind of just starting out as a YouTuber, kinda, and I mostly did One Piece related stuff, because One Piece reactions were a big thing, so I would just like read the latest chapter and react to it, and those videos were very bad. I was very bad at doing reaction content, but that's what I did. But yeah, and I did the two collaborating things with Teching 101, and I was so goddamn nervous because even back then he was like a huge YouTuber, and I'm just like this girl just starting out YouTube. And, I don't know what to say to him. My mind is going blank, like, oh god, how'd I get here? So, it was kind of funny how bad I was at, like, handling that collaboration. And I didn't think that I was gonna pull any subscribers from doing that. But funny enough, I did get some subscribers, I guess, because I'm a cute girl who likes anime. So we'll always get some subscribers just for that fact alone. It's kind of just how the universe works. One Piece reactions are still huge, but I dislike that vast majority of it because it's just a recap of what I just read. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes there's not a whole lot to say on a new One Piece chapter that hasn't that's like not already being said in the chapter itself. One Piece tends to be like a little bit explainy, so there's no reason to have somebody else like re-explain everything, you know? But sometimes when like a genuinely different and special thing happens in One Piece, I'll still want to talk about it. Like when the when the Gear 5th thing happened, I wanted to talk about that naturally because that was a big plot change in One Piece. It was essentially a giant retcon, so it was really interesting to see everybody's reactions to that and kind of give my input on it, and you know. But I don't want to go back to doing just One Piece reactions because, you know, sometimes there's just nothing to say about a chapter. Sometimes it's just like filler or explainy, or I'm gonna walk over here, and then that's the whole chapter. Don't get fooled by the chapter count in One Piece. A lot of it is just like stretching out one plot line over way too many chapters. And, you know, Oda, he's been working a long time. If he wants to do that, he can. But that doesn't mean you're gonna always have a lot to say on a single chapter. Not gonna lie, I really appreciate that you never market yourself as OMG a girl, because that gets old really fast. Yeah, I've been often told that I'm kind of more tomboyish. A lot of people theorize that I'm trans. I'm not, but if you want to give me like extra victimhood points, I'll take them. I don't even really try to be tomboyish. I think it's just like part of my upbringing that I kind of leaned towards, of trying to act tough or trying to act funny, even though I'd never really had to, right? You know, because sometimes especially when you grow up in like kind of a shitty area, you know, kind of a poor place, everybody like wants to convince you that you have to act tough, otherwise you're gonna get bullied, or you're gonna have your lunch money taken from you, or some sort of fucking, I don't know, cliche trope that you hear about in TV. But yeah. Obviously, you don't need to act like a tough girl just because people tell you that you need to, otherwise you're gonna get taken advantage of or whatever. Just, you know, like even as a tough girl, I still got taken advantage of. It didn't solve anything. You just gotta be clever. You just gotta be smarter, you know? There are simps out there, but there are more people that like to support content creators for their personality, content, and views. Well, thank you. Let's see. Dan, too natural pretty to be trans. I didn't realize what the end of that comment was until I popped it up on screen. Talk in your deepest voice. Give the theorists something to talk about. It's funny, every now and then, because I do the comic read-throughs, right? Every now and then I'll do, like, impressions. And my impressions are basically just, like, based on cartoons. Like, whenever I do Sonic, it's like, whoa! And, I use the Sonic voice for basically 90% of the male voices that I'm doing, just because I think it's a really funny male voice to do. But yeah, thanks, Gave the Gen. Help save Dannphan by watching the positive content. Go buy comics at Burning Star Comics, and back Reaper when it comes out. Hell yeah. I dig it. Thank you. Anyway, well, the hour is up, people. So I guess I have to say goodbye. Good night. There's not going to be a Game Fan stream tonight. I know some of you might be really disappointed. I know a lot of you look forward to those Game Fan streams, but no, this is it for this Friday. Maybe next time, you know, maybe next time. I gotta work on some comic stuff, get prepared for some campaign stuff, naturally. So thank you all for joining me on another fairly chill, not super high energy, but fairly chill Friday with Dannphan. I'll have more news about things and stuff next week, I suppose. Actually, I might be gone for a portion of next week. So if I have to cancel Friday with Dannphan, I'll make a community post and explain what's going on there. But assuming that everything goes perfectly fine, I'll see you guys next week. Good night, everybody. Happy Friday, etc. Bye.